Okay, so in the last video I went through two things. I went through how to add a trigger to an overlap with echo, so when the player overlaps this shape over here, this shape here will fall down. I also showed you how to make this shape here pushable, so when the player interacts with it, they can push it and it will also fall down. So at this stage in the level, it is technically possible for the player to go to the other side and complete the level. But we haven't yet added the collision here, and we haven't yet added a trigger to say the game will be complete once the player overlaps with the green shape here. Now I'm not going to do any of those things in this video because I think they're quite easy to do and you can figure out how to do it by watching my previous videos. But instead, what I'm going to show you is how to deal with physics in a pause menu or a substate when it comes to Echo and HaxeFlixel. Let me explain the bug. I've made some changes in the game between the last video and this one. I've added a pause menu. As you can see here, I've added some code to say if the escape button is pressed, the pause menu substate will open. And the pause menu substate is very simple. All it is a white background with black text that says game paused. I've also got some code here to say that when the escape button is pressed again, this substate will close and go back to the main game. So if I hit escape on the keyboard, the game will pause, and if I press escape again on this screen, it will go back to the game. Now watch what happens here. When the player is going up the sloped ramp, I pause. You'd expect the player to still be in the same position that it's in, but when I unpause, the player's all the way down here. How on earth did that happen? Well, if you go into this code and make the background transparent, you'll see now that when the player goes up the ramp and the game is paused, the physics still operates. Again, you can see the same thing happening here when I overlap the trigger and hit pause. The box should stop in mid-air, but it doesn't. It continues to obey gravitational rules, and that's wrong. Luckily, there's a very easy fix for that. All we have to do is to tell Echo to stop updating when this substate is open and to continue updating once it's closed. And that's it. So here on line 20, we're telling Echo to stop updating, and here when the player hits escape again to close this substate, we tell Echo to continue updating. So now in our game, if the player is going up a ramp and we hit escape, they stop. We can hit escape again to continue moving. Also, when we hit this trigger and press escape, the box will stop in mid-air. Just as you'd expect a game to work when you pause it. And there we have it. This is the end of this short course on Echo and Flixel. Of course, we have only scratched the surface of what Echo can do. I highly recommend you check out the Echo website and scroll through the samples to see what this physics engine is capable of. It can do cool things like generate physics colliders based on a tile map. It can also do ray casting or line casting. It allows the grouping of physics bodies with multiple different shapes. And you can even do some basic cloth simulation. So of course, if there are any of these things you want to include in a game you're building with HaxeFlixel, I recommend you check out this physics engine. It's really simple to use and understand.